Breakfast of Champions. Oh boy. This is episode 16. We are joined by Kitsune Bites, Mr. Aaron Kitsune Bites, and our wonderful guest for today.
Hey yo, NerdWirePlays.
Kody from NerdWirePlays. We're gonna skip the intro, rigmarole, blah blah blah. It's just a normal episode. We've got a third host for today, pretty much. How's it going?
Do you want to go first, Aaron?
You go ahead, man. I'm gonna enjoy my my ice cold Baja Blast.
That ice cold Baja Blast and that Breakfast of Champions mug. You can get it over at merch.wherever on Eric Ladd's site. Just go buy it. But anyway, my night was wonderful. I went to bed last night at a respectable hour, but I woke up at a very unrespectable hour at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and how the day has gone. But it's been a nice short day. Oh,
well, that's good. That's great. I'm glad to hear that.
And now I'm here. Talking with you guys.
It's a real pleasure to have you. NerdWire, for those that don't know, is a great friend of the show. We have a lot of good times with NerdWire. NerdWire is a fellow streamer friend who's a recent addition to the community as well, man. You just kind of showed up on our doorstep like a lost puppy, and we had no choice but to take you in, man.
Just lost puppy. He was more like the Kool-Aid man, dude. He came smashing through the wall.
Oh yeah. Oh man, no, it was good. It did feel like I just kind of showed up on everyone's doorstep though. Like, what's it been? 4 months I've been subbed to you?
Something like that, yeah.
Crazy.
Something like that. So yeah, NerdWirePlays is a new streamer on the block, and of course we've been wanting to have you on the show for a little while. But we just figured, we have no Google Doc, we have no preparations to today. We are just absolutely winging it. We do have one news talking point that we do want to talk about, which is relevant to the Go Live notification for today for those who are watching live. But yeah, before we get into whole NerdWire thing, Aaron, how's it going, man? What's news? What's happening?
Well, finally have my Steam Deck skins going out to people, and boy, do they look nice. It's nice seeing all those pictures coming in with everybody's all their skins on. Because I'll tell you what, man, I was sweating it a little bit. I'm like, man, these are gonna look horrible. They're not gonna work.
Oh,
there's one of them. So those are out. Eric, yours should be getting to you soon, right?
Yours, the package that you sent me is currently in Sydney, or departed Sydney.
Look at that. Only a matter of time.
Yeah, departed Sydney, Australia. Yep.
Have that, and then finally got more shirts and hoodies in over at my my little merch stand.
Where can we find that? Let's plug that. Let's plug it. KitsuneBites.com or what?
No, it's something through Stream Elements, man. I'll have to get that over to you at some point. Yeah. But yeah, all that's going off great, and then had some nice days here weather-wise. So I've been out on the bike enjoying the fall foliage, and let me tell you, that's been awesome. It's something. It's one thing to see it from a car, but like, man, riding through it, it's next level.
Yeah.
So I've been enjoying that.
Yeah, it's great. It'd be a great time to be on the bike, the Kitsune bike. If I had the Kitsune bike, I'd be out to Dunkin' Donuts. Well, they don't even call it Dunkin' Donuts anymore. I'd be out to Dunkin' Donuts, whatever. PSL, it's that season. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's still Baja season for me, buddy.
Wonderful.
I popped it in the chat for you there.
Appreciate it.
It muted the link, but still.
No.
Oh darn! Never mind. I did a thing and I failed. That's usually the way it goes.
It's fine.
In news for me, we'll gloss over it quickly here because we've got a packed show, and we've got close to 40 people watching the stream right now, which is unheard of. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys being here. Livestream, my latest project for music for my retro game remix project has officially shipped. So if you've ordered it, it's on its way. Everybody got the shipping notification the other day, so I'm super stoked. Can't wait for you guys to get it in your hands.
I'm very excited. That is by far my favorite album that you've put out, and on top of that is on some of the most beautiful vinyl.
Oh,
I know.
Great.
That Holy Materia vinyl.
I've seen it. It actually looks better. Okay, I do this thing where I say I'm not going to do something, but then I actually do it. So this is the photo I got from the distro guy, the label guy. This is what it actually looks like.
Oh,
Ooh.
dude, that's
Fully
cool.
see through.
It's like transparent with the green, light green splatter. It kind of like it's like the Ghostbusters slime.
That's gonna be nice,
kind of thing. So it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm very stoked. So thank you everybody if you grabbed one. So enough of that. We don't have a voicemail today. Sir Hollowington Smythe did not phone in, and neither did Frog Fuchsia. So we figured out we better just get something. So we've got NerdWirePlays. So NerdWirePlays, like I said, you're the bottom of the barrel.
Backup voicemail. I'm the little gunk at the bottom of the voicemail inbox. I understand.
He was in our spam folder.
Yeah, just dig me out.
NerdWirePlays is a recent addition to the community. My first recollection of you is when you bought my Boundless vinyl, and I remember signing the little postcard, and all of a sudden you posted on Twitter, the selfie, and I was like, hey man, that guy looks like Skrillex. And then all of a sudden
It's only going to get worse, I promise.
I know. And then all of a sudden you just started streaming, and then we just got connected. You joined the Discord and all that stuff, and now as well as everybody else in the Discord, we're all instant besties. So we wanted to talk about your background and your kind of stuff. So Aaron, you've got the first question loaded up, so by all means.
Coffee or Baja Blast?
There's only one real winner in that. And unfortunately, I cannot choose. I can't choose a side. But if I had to, it'd be Baja Blast every day. Listen, I love coffee. I love coffee, but I only like it black.
Me too.
I don't really drink a whole lot of soda. I don't drink a whole lot of soda, but if I do drink soda, I'm going to the Taco Bell. I'm hitting up that drive-thru, and I'm yelling at that lady, "Hey, give me the largest container of Baja Blast I can get."
So you're sitting there going, "Can I get a liter of cola?" Is what you're
give me 1 liter of cola, please.
Oh, that's too good. Oh, there you go. Coffee or Baja. I'm surprised, man. I thought you were more of a coffee drinker than a Baja Blast. But
in the morning, that's my morning drink. But the rest of the day, I'm coffee in the morning, but Baja Blast in the streets, and that's kind of where it goes.
Yeah. Coffee in the sheets, Baja on the streets, man. That's what you are. So I'm glad we can learn more about you. Oh man, I gotta tell you what, we've had a wonderful time prepping for the show. There's no better way for me to wake up on a Sunday morning here, just straight into the most unhinged thing I've ever. I mean, we were talking about kittens and puppies and all that kind of good stuff.
No.
So, NerdWirePlays, tell us about you. So, I mean, we know about you, but there might be a listener on, YouTube or Spotify and all that stuff who don't know who you are. We may have people here in the Twitch chat like, who's this good looking guy? And to which I would say that's Kitsune Bites. So, NerdWire, let's tell everybody about
I agree
yourself.
with that one. I agree with that one. Well, my username's NerdWirePlays. My real name is Kody Christian.
Government name.
That's my government name. The name that my parents gave me. I chose this one, NerdWirePlays. But I'm a variety Twitch streamer, mostly focusing on Nintendo titles, indie titles, whole lot of pixel art stuff, and a good mix of entertainment style content between doing community nights in Splatoon all the way to speedrunning some of the oldest. Some of my fondest Game Boy games that I've had the chance to be able to show to people. My wife, on the other hand, she wasn't able to be on tonight with us. She's out doing some work, and you can see her in the chat here and there, Mrs. Nerdwire. But she does Barbie speedrunning, and we usually feature her on Sundays. But in terms of Twitch, I am very brand new to the streaming sphere. I think I've been doing this for about 4 months now. I got affiliated July 7th. And ever since then, it's just been trying to hit it every day, have some consistency, bring some smiles to the world on a nightly basis. And I don't know, it's been really, really good. It's been an adventure.
You're a machine, dude. And we've talked about it on the show before, but you work a full-time job. You've got 2 kids, a wife, and you're streaming every single night for 2 hours minimum. I don't know how you do it. I know I'm motivated, but at the same time, it's just man, I I really have to dig deep to even get some things done in the evening after my son goes to bed. You're a total machine. I got mad props to you for doing it. You're doing it the right way, which is consistent.
Thank you.
Consistency. That's the thing that sets you apart from everybody. Really, I don't know anybody that streams every day, aside from probably all the hot tub people who get like 10 grand a stream. So.
Maybe that's what I need to work toward. Like, let's just go full hot tub streams. Like, I don't know. Like, I could be speed running Trip World in a hot tub. You never know.
Is that going to be the next channel point goal?
Oh, here we go. Now you've given me an idea. That's honestly, though, in a lot of ways, that's kind of my shtick is like, I try to take as many different ideas and just kind of see what sticks. And I mean, you can see that in the variety that is on my channel, save for Spooktober, which we've been doing this month. For the most part, like it's a mix of everything from retro all the way up to current gen stuff, and trying it as consistently as possible just to see what's going to work with everybody. Even I'm seeing in the chat, hot tub with his Steam Deck. We may have to do that.
Did somebody say Steam Deck?
Somebody said Steam Deck there in the chat. Thank you, Shiny Bird, for the suggestion.
Yeah, man. Steam Deck. That's Mr. KB. You got Mr. Nerdwire onto the Steam Deck as well. You a new convert.
I blame you.
It's nice to start the cult strong. You know, I mean,
it is. Yeah. It is. I've paid my dues to the totem. You know, it's all fine. So
very good. So Nerdwire, I've gotten to know a little bit about you, your background and all that stuff, of course, and chatting over Instagram and all that. And you've called into the show before early in our earlier episodes, which was really cool. But tell us your background with games and entertainment and all that stuff. Like, what made you get into streaming? Like, why streaming?
Well, so it really starts probably about 10 years ago. My username's actually from an internet video games art blog that I used to run for a really, really long time, where I was pulling stuff off of the internet for viewers to really expose and get some people some FaceTime in front of people who could appreciate their art, including myself. I started out doing art, not really having any kind of aim on what I wanted to do with it and where I wanted to show it, and joined this network of blogs over on the Long Dead. I call it Long Dead. I don't know that anyone's still using Tumblr on the regular anymore, but on Tumblr. And then after doing that for 5 years, going to multiple art shows, helping some people get their start, which I don't know that any of these artists remember my name, but I remember artists like Sam Spratt. He did the Handsome Jack collection, Melty Face artwork, helped him get featured on Tumblr for a good while there. Even the artist behind Teen Titans Go, I kind of helped get his stuff out there in front of people's face, but really quit doing that stuff because it was one of those things where I was tired of the grind and tired of creating content for a short time, and then decided, well, I like playing video games and I like being able to entertain people, because I did music on the road for a while as well. Why don't I mesh both of those things of doing a show and playing video games and just see what could happen? So a few years had passed. Took my name back, put it out there as NerdWirePlays, and then here we are doing some crazy stuff. As far as some of my background in games goes, though, and some of my real life stuff, I actually do work for a very large video games retailer in North America. Many of you guys can probably guess that in the chat which one it is. There's not a whole lot in North America, but that's where I've spent my last 10 years as well, is selling video games, getting people bought into our culture, and just really, really enjoying it for the most part.
I see. So as Kitsune Bites in the chat says, Sam Goody. That's,
Sam Goody. Yeah, it was Sam Goody's. It was Tarjay. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, we got to church it up a little bit.
Yeah, so we'll back up a little bit, because you've told me more in depth why, like, you exited that sphere, the whole Tumblr scene, the whole like art scene and all that stuff. I mean, were you doing game related stuff, or it was just like kind of nerdy stuff, or anything?
It was a good mix of it. It was a good mix of everything, but for the most part, my largest focus was on video game art, video game fan art, video game tribute art, and just really a whole lot of opportunities in that. I had gotten involved with a content creator who was actually one of the co-founders of Destructoid for a while.
Oh wow!
He had started a network of blogs on the Tumblr platform. But one of the biggest reasons that I ended up stepping away is because I felt like in some ways I've been bullied a little bit off of the platform because of some missteps. I was young and impressionable. I didn't know what I was doing with my time on that platform. I just thought I was creating content that was useful and viewable. And unfortunately, the head honcho of that whole network of blogs had kind of came at me pretty hard, and it killed all of my desire to really continue creating content. And it wasn't until, even now, like there are some times that I question, is what I'm doing contributing value? Am I doing things the right way? Am I being able to be a beacon of hope for people out there in the chat and on Twitch itself? And I'd like to think that I am nowadays. But back then, I didn't know what I was doing. And I made some missteps in content creation.
Fair enough. I mean, Aaron, you know about I suppose the creeping self-doubt, like, oh, am I doing good enough? Or am I not doing things right enough? I mean, I know I have it too. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's a time thing. I mean, you guys have been getting better, especially with your streams. I mean, Kitsune, so your streams are fantastic. I mean,
I appreciate
your camera presence is great. I mean, you guys are killing it, and I'm glad that I can partner with both y'all today and interact with you guys. And I think it's just interesting to see how you guys have grown too since you guys have started streaming respectively. I'd like to know everybody's background as well. So I want to ask you a question, Aaron. What made you want to start streaming? Why hadn't you done it soon enough? I think that's something that I would like to know too.
So I actually did stream years ago. I tried it under the name Anytizer, and I thought I could do it and just couldn't get comfortable doing any of it. I would show up and stream and just be full panic mode the entire time. And then I decided I'd quit that. And then started a podcast with two other people from another Discord we were in, and became friends with them, all that stuff. And we were doing a show there. And that kind of got me a little bit more comfortable with talking and kind of not sounding like a buffoon all the time. Now I embrace it. If I sound like a buffoon, now I embrace it. But before it was like,
that up, just hand it.
Yeah, like I don't know. I felt like I was super cringy before, and Twitch is definitely a lot easier to do than YouTube because you can show up, do what you want, be goofy, and the people love it. You know what I mean? It's if they don't like it, they're gonna let you know right there live. They're not gonna eat you alive comment after comment like YouTube would.
Oh, it's bad.
And that's where I feel I thrive a little more on Twitch than I do YouTube. But the main reason I wanted to do it is I would see everyone else do that, and I'm like, well, that looks fun. Like if they can do it, I can do it. That was the whole mindset. It was like, well, like what's stopping me from wanting to do that and just, hanging out and playing games with people. Excuse me. So there you go. Then I rebranded and here I am as Kitsune Bites.
That's why I find it interesting because like everybody's got a background before they come to a specific platform. Like I've been doing YouTube now for 10 years. I started YouTube when I was 19, and
wow.
I've only got like 2 or 3 videos from that time still public, and you can very much see the difference in how I speak, and it's one of those things that you learn. Because I remember when I was first had the camera on my face and I had a green screen, and it wasn't even a green screen. I went to Walmart and got green poster boards and like duct taped them with green duct tape to the wall It's awful, and for some reason I thought it would work. But the way that you speak, you only learn by cringing at yourself. You can only get better by doing things continually and continually. That's why I think it's really cool that you guys stepped away from something and then just decided, you know what, we're going to come back. And I found that people entering this sphere lately have had some pretty decent success. I mean, you guys have been really great doing what you're doing. I tune into your streams whenever I can. You've got over 10 people. Sometimes bordering near 20. Not that numbers mean anything, because they certainly don't dictate the quality of the content. But it's great when I see people latching on, because I know how it feels. Just sitting in this like a swimming pool, and nobody wants to join you. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's a cool thing.
I mean, it's one of those things, like, it takes time to develop your brand. What is your identity? What do you want to sound like? Who do you want to be? How do you want people to feel about you after spending some time with you? And not that I am not authentically me on my Twitch streams, but when the camera comes on, like, I want to be the wholesome version of me as much as I possibly can, and be a beacon of hope. And I again, 10 years ago when I was doing the Tumblr thing, I don't know that was necessarily my thought process. I was like, man, I'm getting 400,000 clicks on this one piece of art that I sent out, or reblogs or likes or whatever. And I don't know that I even had a voice in my brand other than this is the product that I made. This is the thing that I have done. Look at me, like me, appreciate me. And 10 years away from that, and that toxicity of even myself has done nothing but contribute to, hopefully, a large portion of the reason that I'm even somewhat moderately successful on this platform.
Do you think a lot of bigger brands, bigger content creators, influencers become tone deaf after a period of time? Do you find that the wholesomeness is gone, or the genuineness is gone as people who consume content? I mean, I know I do. I try and think behind the scenes, like, what are these people actually doing? Like, what are they actually like behind the scenes? Do you think there's a lot of people like that who get that thing in their head where it's like, I just want the end click rather than the process?
I think there's a huge portion for that. I've seen it myself out of larger content creators that I've gotten to know personally. I've seen it myself out of smaller content creators that are trying to aim to be that. Like, I don't know if necessarily time does it, but I definitely think when you have a wave of noise coming at you from all of these different sides that are emphasizing how awesome you are, sometimes it does get distractingly hard to not go, yeah, I am awesome. I'm going to get that click. That's what I'm going to do. And trying to step away from that as much as possible and come to it with a stance of humility, because at the end of the day, like, I mean, we've got 44 people out there listening tonight, but like those 44 people matter more than anything, because we wouldn't be here without them. And it's not about the click. It's about making sure that we're meeting them where they want to be and giving them the entertainment that they want to have.
100%.
And I think the other part is everybody starts out small, no matter who you are. You start somewhere. It's like bands, man. You could tell their music is better when they were a younger group than when they became sellouts. You know what I mean? Like, when you stop worrying about the music or your content, and you're more worried about what's going to sell, that's when you start noticing a shift. And it's one of those. It's a balancing act. That's all. That's what it all comes down to. It's what weighs more to you. Does getting your clicks and your views matter more to you than actually talking and engaging with your community?
That's been something that I've learned a lot of, because I've told you guys before on the show and off air and all that stuff. YouTube has always been one of those things that I've really fought for views for, and as we know now, like, Steam Deck is a huge thing. So, like, my Steam Deck video that I put out a week and a bit ago is at like 3,500 views, and like, I'm just like over the moon at that. It's fantastic. Aaron, your video on Cyberpunk is, I think it's over 2,000 now as well. So it's insane. It's great. It's great to see that, and we want more of that. But at the same time, I think it's like, I've always had these comments, especially from my retro game remix things, like, "Oh, why aren't you more popular? Why doesn't your video have more views?" I don't know, man. I don't know. You tell me. You tell
Are you
me.
sharing it, random commenter?
Are you doing your part? But that's the thing is, like, I've come to appreciate the process more than the dream of, I just want this partnership. I want to become an influencer for Corsair keyboards, or or coffee or something like that. Sure, that'd be nice. I would love to have a sponsor for the show. Don't get me wrong. Because
which, by the way, sponsors out there, if you're listening.
But you know what I mean? Like, I've just have it in my mind that it's out of my mind. I don't ever expect anything I do to blow up. But if it does, if my video gets 3,500 views, awesome. That's great. The video I put out with you, Nerdwire, the other day, it's over 100 views. It's fantastic. It's awesome.
Hey. That was kind of the whole thing I came to that table with too, is like when I started this, like I told my wife, Mrs. Nerdwire, I was like, hey, there are no illusions of grandeur here. I'm not going to be the next big thing, but I mean, I'll be danged if I'm not going to try, like, see what happens. But at the same time, like, that end all be all click, it didn't matter. I would have been happy having 40 viewers. I would have been happy having 6 people sitting in that stream watching me that are my friends talking to me about, oh, this game's dope. This game is cool. This game sucks, whatever it might be.
Now, let me ask you guys, do you find, and I kind of feel like this can apply to money as well. Do you find, let's just say this, would you find $5 more valuable than 500? Because you're more aware of those $5 or 5 viewers, whereas there's a certain point where they're just numbers. Do you find that applies to a lot of streamers and content creators and brands and all that stuff? That's what I'm saying, like the tone deafness.
Me personally, we all, if you're looking at numbers, who wouldn't want to have 500? But sure. I'd rather have that $5 that I know is there, that I know is going to be there the next day. You know what I mean? Because $500 can come and go in a blink of an eye. But
it does every day. I bought a Steam Deck.
Know.
I mean, but look what you bought into, though. You bought into the family. But you know what I mean? It's like it's the numbers can be there. That's fine. We could have 500 people watching right now, and then next time we do a show, we could have 5 people. And I'd rather those 5 people show up than the 500, because those 5 people have been there every single stream.
100%.
Yep.
And that's the root of it all. And I honestly have been thinking about that a lot lately. Especially, I've been so wonderfully gifted with a great Discord community, and you guys, I met all you guys through that. I'm very appreciative and humbled daily by the fact that there's always people there. You know what I mean? And it's not, I'm sure it may not always be like that, but I don't know. That's the point that I'm trying to get to, is like when you step away from something and then you kind of when you finally do go back to it, you find that there are people out there that are wanting to latch onto you and your brand, and that shows that you've done something right. So that's the punchline essentially of this. So I'm glad to see you guys having come back into the sphere, especially at NerdWire. Considering your background and all that stuff as well. So there you go. Now you mentioned that I know it's kind of touch and go how much you actually want to say, and that's more than fine. But you have experience working at a large retail organization. What can you tell us about that and your experience with that?
So there's not a whole lot, obviously. So I've been with game company, insert game company name, for going on 8 years. It'll be 8 years this November. And I've genuinely appreciated my time with that company. I think what it did was it actually gave me an ability to learn how to talk to people. Because prior to that, I mean, I did design work. I owned my own t-shirt screen printing company. I worked with people individually. We had large contracts printing shirts for a lot of people, but it wasn't a whole lot of in-person sales, or the way that I like to look at it with the customers that come into the stores now, with it being fast food friendship. It was very in-depth. I'm building a relationship with this person over a period of time to give them the product they actually want, because they're dropping thousands of dollars compared to, hey, this is an impulse buy. I'm going to buy this X console or whatever it might be, and trying to convince them that this is this thing is going to be worth it. One of the things that the company had taught me, and I think it's very antithetical to what you read out on, random blogs. I won't name any of them, but oftentimes they're very negative toward that company, and I don't blame them, because the vast majority of associates, managers, district managers, regional managers, they don't really fully grasp or understand that there's a need to meet the customer where they're at. And that was something that I was really appreciative of all the people who helped me grow in a sales position, is that we need to consider the actual needs of the customer. What is going to benefit this person? And I'd like to say that where I came in with this company was different than everywhere else. There's always been a quota. There's always a goal. That's sales in general. I mean, anyone who's worked in any kind of sales position will understand that. But it's one of those things that it is tantamount that you never put the number before the customer's satisfaction, because at the end of the day, very similar to what we're talking about right now with how are we going to get clicks? How are we going to do this? How are we going to do XYZ thing? If I put that number before my viewer, or if I put this goal before my customer, I'm not going to have viewers or customers at the end of the day.
That's the punchline. It's all relative. Being aware of your viewer, your consumer, all that stuff, and that's kind of the root of what I wanted to get to today. Now, Mr. KB, do you've got experience going to this particular establishment known across North America and Canada, I suppose. The news reports and everything that you read online, would you say that it is true? Have you had negative experiences?
See, the circuit cities out here near me, man, they I have nothing but no, but seriously though, my store, so we, in my little area, my little part of Pennsylvania, we have a McDonald's within a 1 mile radius of each other, and there used to be a GameStop just about within a half mile of each other, and each one of those stores were awesome. If one didn't have something, they would be like, "Yo, you know what? Let me call my guy at the other store. We'll hold it for you. You go over there and get it." It's always been a great experience there. The store that I frequent now, it got to the point where I don't know if they were a manager or what, but it's like to the point now we're like, "Oh, hey, how's it going here? You didn't pre-order this, but here's some of the pre-order goodies. Like, you come in here enough, we know, we like your business. Here you go. Here's a couple more things." So I have a great time. I mean, that's buying used stuff. That's selling them used stuff. I mean, if I'm bringing something in, store credit's always good. It's always going to be better than the $2 they're going to give me. But like, I'd rather take that $20 discount and put it towards something else, or just say, you know what, put it on my account and I'll keep it there. I'll sit on it. So they've been more than helpful with me, and I don't have a negative experience when I go there. So when I read about the stuff, I'm like, man, those stores really have to be like, real down in the gutter.
I think you end up finding that a lot of times, like, it is a extremely negative minority that are extremely vocal. And that's why those things end up cropping up online, is that, like, some stores are going to suck. Some people are going to suck. But it's up to you to try to figure out the best way to make sure that shopping experience, like, dude, like, KB, you pop into a store that I'm running this random Radio Shack that I'm running somewhere down in Pennsylvania. I promise you, like, you get treated like a person. But the biggest problem is that oftentimes, because you have people that are driving for that goal and that number, again, throwback to what we just mentioned, sometimes they get blinded by that number, and that person's no longer a person. That person's a goal. So
absolutely,
I don't know.
It's in the corporate world. It's not just a Best Buy quote unquote thing. It is a corporate thing, and that's why I quit my last job. That's why I went. That's why I went into the corporate world, and I was like that. I'm not a Simpsons fan, but there's that GIF or GIF where the old guy walks into the bar, puts his hat and coat on the coat rack, and then turns right around and goes out the door. That was me with that job, because I realized there is a giant negative undertone where I do not believe in somebody being a goal. I do not believe in somebody being a number or just a username online, for example. People are people. And I think if you form genuine relationships with people, you will find that you live a more gratifying life, or you have a more gratifying time, or a customer experience and all that stuff. That's why I'm still friends with the manager, now owner of Microgame, who was on episode 3. I love that shop because they gave me the time of day, and I became great friends with Chris. And he was on our show. You know what I mean? And that's important. And I think, Kody, what you're saying, it's very important to continue to put people first. And Crosif in the chat made a really great point, is that negativity is loudest online. For sure. Because one person can have a bad experience at this specific retail chain, write a blog about it or whatever, like, or Kotaku can share it, and then it blows up and everybody's like, man,
hey, there we go. There's the place I wasn't going to mention.
To hell with these chains. Well, I mean, it could be anybody really, but they're a bit toxic from what I've read online lately. Yeah. But it's just like, to hell with them, put them in the gutter, fire those people.
Yeah.
These are people's jobs that they're going to be losing. These are livelihoods. These are maybe their parents with kids. They can't afford to feed their kids. There are implications for this negativity, and I find that a lot of it is kind of unfounded. And I've always had a decent experience even going to these places. Sure, they're perhaps maybe sometimes pushy with the rewards cards and stuff like that, but it's because there are people higher up saying, you got to do this, you got to meet these numbers. It's not just a specific video game retailer chain thing. It's specific to the corporate industry, which is why don't work with me.
I'll tell you, dude, I can't. The one thing I can't stand is making money for someone else. You know what I mean? It's like I'm making their money, and I'm just a number to them. Yeah. I'd rather make money for someone who's actually going to care about my well-being, who's actually going to be like, you know what, you did good this year. Here's a little extra for you. You know what? Or let's say the business isn't doing so good. All right, well, we're going to take a little off the top end and give it back to the little guys, because they're the ones that make our money. But corporation, man, it's tough. And I used to work at 2 of them. One was a body shop, and the other one was for housing market stuff, for home appraisal. So I got to see 2 different sides of the coin, and at the end of the day, they're all fat cats that want to sit there and say, "Screw them,"
Yep. Yep.
But on the other side of it, and this can apply to anything. Is that the only way to find success? Are we, as little guys in the big C, are we never going to get anywhere because we don't have the me first mentality? That's me playing devil's advocate here. Not saying that I believe that, but I found that a lot of people who are successful in business are selfish, do cut corners, don't care about people. Numbers first, goals first. What would you say, Kody, as not saying that's specific to your experience, but just in general? How do you feel about that? Is that true?
I think really the biggest thing that you've got to consider is, what corners are you willing to cut? One of the things that I've said a lot of times, like in my position that I have with the company that I'm currently at, every lever you pull is going to have a different lever that trips differently. Every button you push is going to have a different button that is going to trigger. And there is a give and take. But I think if anyone ever gets away from the fact that the people that watch you, the business that you do, the corporation that you run, if you ever get away from the fact that these people walking into your doors are more than just a dollar sign, you're always going to be left with a certain amount of failure. And I mean, I hate to say it, but we've seen plenty of companies go under because, at the end of the day, they were chasing profits and not chasing actual impact. In big companies, Toys R Us is a good example of that. Chasing profits. Then they never made it because there wasn't a priority to their customer. And I I didn't grow up around a Toys R Us, but I visited a couple. I knew what it was like going in there. Like I was a sales number. I was a goal. I was a quota. Kmart's in North America. Like those things shut down really quickly. But again, it had a very different feel to what in North America now feels like going into a Target. Like I belong in a Target. I'm here. I'm a person. These people want to assist me, and like I'm not just like some random customer walking in that's a dollar sign that they have to chase any kind of goals or quota. And I think that's the biggest thing that you cannot cut the corner on. There's a lot of other things you can. But prioritize your people.
Absolutely. It's relevant to the topic as well that we had for today. Which we're going to talk about here soon, and I don't know because it's something that's literally just come out, so we'll hit that shortly. But in I don't even know where to go from here really, because obviously we don't have any bullet points or we don't have any plans for the show today. We're just obviously glad to have you on and kind of shoot the breeze with you. But NerdWire, what's your experience with streaming? What's your experience being somewhat new to the online community? Are you burned out already, man? Like you're doing like 7 days, or are you more motivated than you wake up every day more motivated than the other? How are you feeling?
Every single day there is something new for me to look forward to. Like one thing I've done really well with is not creating a rep for myself where like, yeah, I've got a typical time I'm going to go live, but I don't have a typical thing I'm going to do. Like to an extent, during my normal months, which right now we're in the middle of Spooktober. So I've been doing spooky, scary, macabre, horror themed games. And that's not my thing. Mind you, viewers out there, that's not my thing. If you're going to follow me for scary, just come on Mondays. But, but kind of at the same time though, there's no rut there. And that's because at the end of the day, like that's my getaway. That's my happy place. I get to go out there and play some video games for a couple hours and talk to people that I've became genuine friends with. There are days that I'm like, man, I'd really like to sleep. But like once I get down here, I throw on the studio lights, the NerdWire logo lights up in the background, and I hit that go live button, and I get to hear some awesome Eric Ladd tunes that play across the starting screen. Like I'm stoked, I'm ready to go. Like that's where I'm at.
How are you feeling, Aaron? I mean, I know you're streaming 3 times a week. Are you feeling burnt out? Do you feel like it's... Because I know my tenure, I've been doing this for like almost 18 months now. I've been burned out on streaming. How are you feeling?
There's some days where I just go, man, I'm just not feeling it today. But usually those days are the days I do stream, and the number of you that show up actually turn it all around for me. Mm-hmm. You know, I could be burnt out and say, man, this is going to be a struggle to get through the 2 hours of stream. And then I show up and, you know, greet everyone, and then it turns into something totally different. So, I mean, your
stream's always something totally different than what you expect.
Well, I know, right? That's the name of the game, you know. But I don't know. I mean, some days I think if anything, I just get, because I'm more introverted, more of a like, hi, I'm here, goodbye. Like, that's it. So I get peopled out kind of real fast. Mm-hmm. So I'll be like, oh, I gotta talk to people. I don't want to talk to people. And then like I talk to people and I'm like, oh, that was so much fun. My God, let's do it again. Yeah. You know,
that's been my experience too. I haven't done it in a while purely because my time is cut so short lately, but it's the weekly wake up stream. I was doing it every Friday, and it was at a really great, and this is why I'm saying, NerdWire, you're an absolute machine. So I'd be going live at Friday at 8 p.m. And that's like premium me time, or premium me and Amber time to watch a show, play a game, whatever, hang out. And I'd be going live instead, you know, and I would find that I'd be a little bit salty over like trying to sacrifice my time, and therefore it led to burnout and all that stuff. But that being said, those 2 or 3 hours that you go live, even if you're like, I'm not really feeling it, I have the greatest time.
Yeah.
You know? It goes to show the positivity that I found here. You know, for example, we've got McToasty Toast in the chat, or as I like to call Mrs. Toast 7. It's Mrs. Toast 7 for me. Subscribing at tier 1 for 12 months. That's a year. And that, to me, thank you again for that. Is a great sign that we're doing something right. We've got a good community of people that will always show up, no matter where you are, how you're feeling, what you're doing. I think people gravitate towards great people, and I find that perhaps, let's just say you blow up over, you become the guy for, I don't know, playing the trombone game on your Steam Deck, Aaron, for example, like you become that guy. It's only so long that you can do that and keep up with that persona before it's just like, I don't like this anymore. It's not worth it, So
See,
I've been burned out as a result sometimes.
The problem I have is what to stream. Like Halloween's great because like, all right, we're gonna do this, and then Thursday we're gonna do this, and then Friday we're gonna do this. I have a problem with sticking with one game or one thing. And I know a lot of people, if you play a game, they're gonna want to come back and see that game. They're not gonna want to watch you play trombone game and then play Resident Evil and then play what's the Outbound Ghost, you know what I mean? They were gonna want to watch one game and have you stick with it.
Consistency.
And that actually burns me out more than anything else because I have a very small attention span when it comes to certain things. So I'm like, yep, all right, this game's cool. I'll come back to it. What's the next newest thing? I want to play it.
I think that's some of the benefits of doing a lot of the retro stuff for myself and my channel. Tuesdays during a normal month, not Spooktober, Tuesdays are dedicated to Trip World speedruns on the Game Boy, and I love that game. And I found that I'm surprised at how many people who have no clue about that game, but are actually looking forward to sitting down and watching me explain this speedrun, explain this game, play it for them. And I mean, I restart like nobody's business throughout that game because it's speedruns. I'm trying to get the best possible time I can possibly get. Thursdays being Throwback Thursdays and doing GBA stuff, or the random pilot wings, which I'm looking forward to hopefully doing at some point once we get out of Spooktober since it just launched on NSO. But like trying to play things to completion can sometimes be very difficult. And sometimes like I may start up a game and I'm never going to be able to complete this game because viewership might be down, or maybe I'm just not feeling it. Maybe it's not exciting me as much as I thought it would, and wanting to move on to the next thing, but trying to just like grind down and finish it off is the biggest thing that I could possibly do for my people, for my channel. And then once I'm done with that, I don't have to go back to it at that point. I'm like, okay, good. Right. I can go do the next thing.
Yeah, there's only so many games that I've completed on stream, like Earthbound. We did Super Mario RPG, A Hat in Time, just a fair few. But there's some where it's just like I was really stoked to play Banjo-Kazooie, but 2 streams in, I was just like, I couldn't care less.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite games of my childhood, but I just the only memorable thing is there was a lot of Croc talk, talking about Crocs.
I
Croc
remember
shoes.
that. Yeah.
Crocs. I need to get my Crocs out.
Oh no,
you're a Crocs aficionado, are you?
Oh yeah, I'm a big Crocs aficionado. All-wheel drive all the time. Like kick those puppies out of sport mode, put them in terrain mode.
You're off the show. You're off the show.
That's fair. I understand.
No, I'm kidding.
Hang on. I was going to lean into there. Where was that? I had a little clip of me.
No, it's fine. You're gone. No, it's fine.
Oh, man.
No, but it's true, though. Like, there is a balance of not burning out, playing the things you want to play, doing the things you want to do. For example, I've got 788 followers on Twitch, and a lot of them come from Splatoon. Some of the other games I played, Undertale. I've had people ask, are you going to play Earthbound again? Are you going to play Mother 1 and Mother 3? It's like, I can't do that all the time. But at the same time, it's like, where are all these people? What do they want to see? And they're trying to cater to all that. It is quite literally a juggle. And it's trying to, and consistency is really the key, which is why, like, again, NerdWire, I wanted to highlight that. I don't know how the hell you do it. I mean,
you got me, dude.
I did want to touch on something there too, because I mean, you mentioned like that's prime Eric Ladd time, Ambi time. Like that is the time to invest in yourselves. And like I don't want to diminish any of the fact that like I'm not burned out, but that is prime time for me and my wife to catch up because I do work long hours at the job that I currently have, and we've got kiddos that like take up because it's get up, go to work, come home, spend time with the kids, because I mean, I'm only going to have them for 18 years or maybe a little bit more. Depends on if they want to be a basement dweller or not. It's fine. But then like after we get them in bed, literally it's a half an hour. I'm putting my face on, I'm fixing my hair, I'm changing into a fresh shirt. I'm coming down and hitting the go live button. I'm doing that for 2-3 hours a night. And then I go upstairs, and we're so behind on TV because of that. But the biggest thing that I know is worth it is that if this ever becomes somewhat successful, somewhat semi-successful, and consistency is key for me, that will hopefully grant me more time back with my wife and my kiddos. And that's what keeps me going is the drive to do that, to not have to give up so much of my life elsewhere, being a cog in the wheel for a different company.
I hear it. 100%.
No diminishment.
No, I'm the same way. I notice I don't have a lot of time with Amber lately because I'm working. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. I'm trying to prepare for, for example, this week I'm trying to prepare for an unannounced concert that I'm playing next week. I haven't told anybody about it. I'm waiting for it to be announced. But I'm practicing. I'm getting things ready, and I'm trying to edit videos. And I've basically worked 3 jobs. I've got Twitch. I've got content creation, all that stuff. I've got my clients that I do podcast work for and audio editing. And then I have my normal job that I work 3 days a week. And plus being a parent and then being a husband as well. I feel like sometimes being a parent and being a husband falls to the side, which is unfortunate because maybe I'm not good at managing my time. But I'm very driven to get this thing. I would love for my income stream to come from Twitch 100%, YouTube 100%. So that way I can just focus on doing that and then be upstairs and be present as a parent and a husband and all that stuff. You know how it is. I mean, Aaron, I know you're wanting to get to that stage too. I mean, it seems like a lot of hard work is in front of all of us if we want to get to that point, but you just got to try and stay consistent. There ain't nobody I want to see succeed more than all you guys. Not just you two here, but all of our fellow streamers that are on Discord and all that stuff. I want to see all you guys succeed. I want all your dreams to come true and all that stuff because it's hard. It's hard as hell, man. So there you go. Now, I did tease something about a news topic, and I would really like to discuss it because it just came out like 2 hours ago. So we're going to flick on over to our topic of the week, and then we're going to read it. Stay tuned.
So, have you two played Bayonetta at all?
Ooh.
No.
I don't have it back here. Hang on. I know I have it somewhere. Let me see.
So while he's looking for it, so Bayonetta, I've never played it, so I can't really say much about this series, but I know it's about a there you go. See? Look at that. There
it's dark. It's too dark in
here. What is that, a video game for ants? You can't see that.
This is how you get ants.
So Bayonetta is I don't know. See, like I don't know much about Bayonetta other than it's a very risque game that people have latched on to because
he plays a nude witch.
Yeah, I was so there's a certain voice actor that has voiced that character for Bayonetta 1 and 2. And apparently for Bayonetta 3, they, I guess, shortchanged her by a whole lot. I guess they offered her $4,000 to do the voice. And she said, excuse me? And they said, yep, $4,000, here you go. So she, from what I was reading briefly before the show started, it seems like she left. She's come out and she's talking about it. She's saying, hey, they screwed me over and I'm replaced now because I didn't want to accept $4,000. Personally, I think that's super messed up. If you have a voice actor for if you're a dev and you have a voice actor for one of your popular IPs, wouldn't you think you'd want to give them an incentive to stick around and continue to voice that character? Because this could turn into Bayonetta 4, Bayonetta 5, Bayonetta Serial. You know what I'm like that.
Bayonetta O's.
Maybe they'll make a Bayonetta movie and have Chris Pratt do the lead voice.
We can only hope.
I'm just spitballing here, but it's very sad to see this, and from what I was reading, she's not the only one that has had this happen to before. I honestly, I'm kind of surprised to hear this kind of news, because usually we hear the whole other side of the coin for these game developers, where there's sexual harassment or they're just scumbags in general. This is the whole, yeah, we're going to be greedy and you can hit the road or you can take it or leave. You know what I mean? Like, that's, I don't know. It's really sad to see, especially knowing the background she has. I mean, in the video she put out there, she was listing all the credentials she has for that. And she's way more qualified than I think half the people out there doing voice acting work. So to me, that feels like a stab in the back. What do you two think about it?
Eric, you want to go first?
No, you go first. I've talked enough.
Oh, I think I'm almost afraid. I have a mixed opinion on this.
Let's hear it.
So in some ways, I understand where she's coming from, because she created that brand for them, that certain flavor of voice for that character. And like, I was talking about this with Mrs. Nerdwire before we came down to do the show, which is crazy that we started talking about this on the show, but there was a whole lot of context that I think is missing from there. The first thing is what kind of counteroffer did she ask for? I saw the clip she posted. She didn't really talk a whole lot about the business side of it. But did she try to counteroffer was my first question. She mentioned that she was unhappy with the amount, but what amount would have been good enough for her to come back and come on, or what amount would have been fair? And do I think $4,000 is right? No, I don't think that amount of money is correct. But here's where my mixed opinion comes in at, is that it is a little bit different. I think about the Charles Martinet, Chris Pratt side of things, where Hollywood said, no, we don't want you, Charles Martinet. And old Chucky, he was pretty quiet about it all. You know, he was listen, me and Chuck, we're on good terms. But old Chucky, he was very quiet about it all, up until Tara Strong started tweeting about how there's a certain Earth Angel that needs some love tonight. And it became very obvious that he was pretty heartbroken over the fact that he wasn't welcomed in to continue this franchise that he created billions of dollars worth of profit for. I think about it in that perspective. And I look at Helena and what she contributed to the character that is Bayonetta. But the thing that complicates matters in this whole thing is she's asking everyone to boycott this game, and then goes on to say the new voice actress doesn't deserve to be able to sign merchandise.
I didn't see that.
So there's a little bit of salt there that I don't think is deserved, especially like if you're the one that turned down the job and some other person decided to take it at a lower offer. Like, don't poop in their Cheerios. Like, let them have their moment, even if you disagree with it. It wasn't your business at that point. And so that's kind of where I'm at with it, is she handled it a little bit tactlessly. And it's easier for me to sympathize with someone like Charles Martinet, who got shafted, but quietly went his own way, versus Helena, who 3 days before the game's coming out decided to be very vocal about why she's not a part of it and asked everyone to boycott it.
Yeah, there was somebody from Platinum posted a tweet saying truths will be revealed, et cetera, et cetera. So there's certainly sides of the story that I'm sure we're probably not hearing. The thing is like this side of the story right now is the loudest. So that's all we're hearing, and people's opinions are formed around this. So they're saying, oh, screw Nintendo, boycott Nintendo, even though Nintendo's just publishing the game. As Crosleaf in the chat says, $4,000 is about 67 copies of that game. The game's going to sell millions. All that money goes to the publisher, or I suppose depending on the agreement that they have. Platinum makes the game, and Nintendo publishes it on their console. That's their third-party agreement. Fair enough. The thing that in my experience, so for example, let's just say somebody wants me to create a jingle for a brand, right? Let's just say McDonald's. how much do I charge for that, knowing how much they're going to make off of that? How much is my time worth? How many hours of time am I, or is Helena going to spend in the voice acting booth to do this game? How many pages of dialogue? How many words, et cetera, et cetera? Why is it only $4,000? Why is that the offer? In her argument there, she said she just wanted a normal living wage. It probably knows you to ask what is considered the going rate for voice acting for that. Mm-hmm. How much does she want to be paid? I know what my hourly rate is for audio production. When I do charge people, or if I do get paid, which sometimes invoices go unpaid. I know how I understand that. That's basically where I am. But that being said, I only watched part 1 of part 3. So part 1 has 4.6 million views. There's also a second part which has 146,000, and the third part has 201,000. So there's people that are not hearing the full side of the story and then coming to an opinion, which of course everybody who reads a headline thinks they know everything about everything, and then they decide to form their opinion around that, et cetera, et cetera. It's not just a Nintendo boycott thing. It's an everything thing. Mm-hmm. But saying to boycott, and because this is the first time I've heard this, saying to boycott the game, fair enough, sure. And then also saying to diss the other voice actress for taking over my character, I think that's a little bit salty. It's a little bit salty.
It's extreme. It's just very hard to justify her stance on that. Because at the end of the day, that actress is not the person who made the decision to not pay her what she is worth. Mm-hmm. That actress just took a job. And who knows? Like maybe she knocks it out of the park and does become the voice of Bayonetta, and people learn to love her just as much. Maybe more. Who knows? But I think there's a level of disrespect that's paid to another person who's in the same industry and field as her, who didn't make that decision at the end of the day, that she should have considered.
Oh, listen to this. So basically one of the higher ups at Platinum, Hideki Kamiya, came out
director
with
of the game.
Tweet. Yeah, he said, "Sad and deplorable about the attitude of untruth. That's what all I can tell now. By the way, beware of my rules." So she probably broke an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah.
And I go to his Twitter page. His Twitter page is temporarily restricted. So,
oh no,
it's a bit of a can of worms at the moment now with that.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting to me are all the Nintendo people, and I mean, all the Nintendo creators are automatically like, "Yep, she's in the right. The hell with Platinum Games, this, that, and the other." And then you and I both know that as soon as the game comes out, they're like, "Yo, check out Bayonetta 3. It's great, isn't it?"
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing that gets me. Like my stance is that's unfortunate, but we don't also know everything, so I can only form an opinion on what the information I'm given. And it's not like I'm gonna take to Twitter. Oh yeah, that's it. Cancel everybody. Cancel the game. Cancel Platinum Games. Let's go. Burn the town down. Like that's not something I can do. Because I want all my information. I want all my information before I'm sitting there in the back of the class with mud on my face.
Hey yo.
Yeah.
That's it. I think it's a tricky situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it goes back to the original thing that we were talking about just before we hit the topic. Is certain things are seen as numbers or goals rather than people being appreciated for their time. I think a similar thing happened with David Hayter, the voice of Snake.
Yes. Yeah,
he got replaced by Kiefer Sutherland for Phantom Pain. And he was basically, I heard it. I was playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, and he's actually in that voice as like a sub character. I'm like, why isn't this guy like the face of the game? Is this something that, because you complain or whatever? I don't know if he publicly complained or whatever, but I'd be mad as hell being replaced as have somebody replace me as the voice of Solid Snake, or Bayonetta. Bayonetta is now a very popular character, of course. So I'd be mad as hell, man. And I think she's justified in being angry, but I think she probably smeared a little bit too much in her statement.
Yep.
Well, I mean, do we also think maybe it comes down to one of those things where I've seen it. I follow a lot of hockey. I'm a big hockey fan. And if you watch hockey, the players get on the team and let's say they win a cup. Well, the next year they're going to get a little extra money because they were successful. Let's say they win a cup again. Okay, here's a little more money. You were a little more successful, but then the next year you just make it to the playoffs, but you're coming to that next season going, where's my extra cash? I think it might be one of those, like, all right, we sold millions on the first one, we sold billions on the second one. Where's my bag? Where's my money? You know, and it's like, all right, well, we put all our budget in the visuals, so this is all we have. You know what I mean? So I think it might be a little bit of that too, like one of those. I know, like, and there's a lot going around, like, know what you're worth, and I agree. If you think you're worth something, shoot for it. You know, don't sell yourself short, but at the same time, don't get cocky with it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I suppose we don't know all the finer details, and I doubt we'll know. But I'd be really interested to know what number she would have requested as a decent living wage. In her statement, she wants a decent living wage, or just to be basically paid what she's worth. Fair enough. But I, why wouldn't they have honored $4,001? DJ Bob says.
4,001, Bob.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, it just goes back to the whole Chris Pratt thing. It's somewhat similar. Not that they didn't want to pay Charles Martinet, but there's always going to be somebody to step up for the role that you own. Mm-hmm. You are always replaceable.
Yep.
You are just another cog in the wheel when you're doing that kind of stuff. Yep. I mean, who's the go-to guy in voice acting right now? It's
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. I can't wait to see him.
I know the dude who voices Joel in The Last of Us. Like, that's the guy that you hear in like everything now.
Nolan North. Yeah. You've got your Nolan Norths. You've got your I can't remember everybody either. I'm with you. Troy Baker's. Yes, there we go. Kensal Extreme. Troy Baker.
Yeah, Troy Baker. That's the guy. He's in everything at the moment now. Mm-hmm. But that's not always going to be the case. You're always replaceable. You may play this hit character, but you may have a bad role, or you may just not be able to bag the role, and then you just get washed to the side. It's unfortunate, but that's the entertainment industry. That's the corporate world, and that's the punchline of what I'm trying to get to here again. To echo on our main chat before. So yeah, it's interesting.
I think the sales will dictate whether or not Helena will be back for Bayonetta ever again. The sales will dictate that. But I'd have to argue that there is a large majority of people who have zero clue who the voice of Bayonetta actually is, and who are following this drama, that it's going to make any kind of difference, because people have been waiting for this game for years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
to the point that people thought it wasn't coming. So I don't know. I feel for her, and I hope her pleas are heard. Do I think she was a little bit salty? Yes. Do I think it's deserved? To an extent, depending on the place that it's directed at. But I'm with you. Like, you've got to consider, what is that viewership? What is that customer worth at the end of the day?
Mm-hmm.
So Sean Chiplock, who voiced Rivali in Breath of the Wild, the dude who looks like Falco, the blue bird dude, another Nintendo published game, claims he was only given around $2,000 to $3,000 for his role, as it was based on the number of hours in the studio. But he noted that his pay was largely because he was voicing 3 different characters, not one. So, again, that's the thing. How much time are you spending? How much time does the publisher have to pay, or whatever the development company have to pay the recording studio? There's engineers in there. There's producers. There are people that are probably in over, like a Zoom kind of client thing that there is for audio production. How much resources is being put in there? There is a cost to make things, and then you have to, for example, some movie studios, they can have it takes them $30 million to make the movie, and then it might maybe an actor comes out and says something controversial before the movie gets released, and then it bombs. They only make like 1.3 million at the box office. It's all
Miller.
Yeah, it's all relative, man. And that's why like Ezra Miller came out and apologized, because Warner Brothers or DC was like, hey, you need to say something because we're going to lose a lot over this.
Yeah.
And we're going to find, I'd be interested to know the sales numbers if what Helen has said has a ripple effect on sales of Bayonetta. Personally, do I think it will? No, don't think so. The gamer nerds don't care. They just want to get their Bayonetta fix, So there you go.
That's how the cookie crumbles.
And that's how the cookie crumbles. We're finished here with the topic. We're gonna flick back over to our outro of the show. We're gonna end with a couple more talking points. So stay tuned because Aaron's got a blazing topic.
Here.
And
All right.
we're back.
Here.
And we're back. So let's get serious here. Now that we got those silly topics out of the way, let's really get down to the meat and potatoes. Okay?
So the silly topics of do you find your viewership valuable and
right.
How many people should boycott Nintendo?
How do we, Eric? I don't think you'll be able to partake in this one because you live in another country. But Nerdwire, what's your take on the Mexican pizza coming back? I thought that it was such a joy to see that they listen to their fans and know what the fans want. You know what I mean? Like, where's your stance on that?
Here's the biggest thing. I think at the end of the day, when a creator decides to create something and decides to take it away, they have full artistic license to be able to resume that or take it away as they please. I compare it to the whole Sonic travesty where we bullied Sega and Paramount Pictures into fixing Sonic the Hedgehog for the movie. And, honestly, like all it's doing is perpetuating this whole like culture of let's force these companies to give us what we want. So here's the thing. While I'm morally obligated to say that I'm against it, what I want to do is leverage all of these fans to go to Illumination Pictures and get them to fix Mario.
I thought we were talking about Mexican pizza.
Listen,
actually, that's actually a really good thing. How do you guys feel about the whole let's bully the company and maybe they'll change it? What, like, to me, I feel like it's like getting a tattoo. You show the guy your concept, what you want, and he's gonna go, well, here's my artist interpretation of that concept. $50 and it's yours on your skin. You know what I mean? Like, do you bully him and say, no, this is the way I want it? I don't know. To me, it's, I see the whole, let's bully these studios and publishers to change things. I don't really like it, to be honest with you. I can't get behind it. Cause they had an idea in their mind on what they want to do. And then here we are, Like, I don't know that the whole, like, let's bully them and let's champion for what we the people want. I don't know. I can't get behind that.
No.
Customer's always right. I disagree with it most of the time, but
in terms of taste, that's the rest of that.
I mean, do I agree that we need an actual Mario voice? Yes. Do I agree Mario needs his cake back? Yes, I do.
Oh, he's got no cake back there, dude.
He's got no cake. He's got pie. You know what I'm saying?
Like, he's got Mexican pizza. That's what he has back there.
That's what he has. But I mean, I'm not like, I'll still go watch the movie. I'll still go support it. But I'm not gonna sit there and bully them online. Like, I don't know.
I love this. Kenzo B says, give this man a platform, and he goes off on the Mario movie. The salt runs deep. I've never had Mexican pizza. Hey, we've got a new follower here. We've got Volpixie92 join the party. Thank you so much for
welcome, champion, for
tuning in and joining. The Mexican pizza I've never had. Taco Bell here in Australia is garbage because, of course, as we know in the US, all the ingredients are meant to kill you, and therefore that's why it tastes good. Here in Australia,
I'm here
it's a different story.
For a short time, not a long time.
I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. But that's a really great talking point, though. People really bullied the heck out of the Sonic movie. I think there was a large amount of tone deafness coming out of the Sonic movie, though. Who the hell wants Sonic to look like a blue rat? Because that's essentially what they did. And people, I think because that's a real point where there's a large production company, no clue what their fan base wants. You know what I mean? And we talked about this last week, but no matter how vocal you're going to be about the Mario movie, nothing's changing. It's on a bigger, more grandiose scale than we could ever comprehend. It ain't going anywhere. But Sonic, on the other hand,
7 years of work.
Yeah, it's a long time, man. A long time.
And beyond that, Mario's dad's been involved with it. Like, if it passes his approval radar, like, I mean, I guess we've got to be okay with it. And I'll be okay with it. I'll eventually get over it. If anything, it will be the second best Mario theatrical film that's ever been released.
I don't know. It's not hard to top the other one, man.
Yeah, I mean, the other one was cinema gold.
I'm a stand for Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo Mario.
I love it,
good.
dude did half that show with broken bones, or half the movie with broken bones. I mean,
did he really?
Yeah,
he did.
When Luigi was driving the delivery truck or their plumbing truck, and Mario's in the passenger seat, the door slammed closed on like his ankle or something.
I think that was during the cop car chase that actually happened, wasn't it? It was during the cop car, because they filmed that entire movie completely out of order because they couldn't agree on a script. So it was a bunch of like random shots, and they were like, "Okay, this seems like a movie. Let's put this together."
Yeah.
So,
the whole history of that Mario movie is insane, and it's funny that the people who directed that still can't get work in Hollywood, because they're like, wait a minute, you guys did the Mario movie, and they're like, yeah, all right.
They were a huge liability. They were a huge, scary liability. No one wanted to die, but everyone almost did.
Yep.
It's a lot like producing an episode of Breakfast of Champions.
I know. Yeah. We only invite the best of guests on here.
We get the upper echelon on this show. I'll tell you what.
It's been a while since we had a guest, and this is our second episode with a live guest too. So it's very rare that the stars can align. DJ Bob says, "Y'all hear about the discovery of a Mexican pizza on the moon?" Let's hear it.
Well, looks like I'm getting on my rocket ship.
I haven't heard about the discovery of a Mexican pizza, but I've heard about the brown hole in it.
Have you heard about the brown ring around Uranus? What's so funny? It's a space joke.
Oh man!
Space joke.
Oh man!
Whatever they do, seriously, better than the Double Dragon movie. Better than the Dragon Ball movie. That's another tone deaf thing too, and that's why a lot of video game movies flop, because a lot of the people who are responsible for those titles, the production of those original games and stuff, aren't involved in the adaptation to the silver screen. And that's why I think it's really great that Miyamoto's there. So I don't know. We just have to have faith, I suppose.
I'll tell you what. If they make yet another Resident Evil show or movie, they should just cancel it right as soon as they think about it. They have yet to have a success. I've watched the Resident Evil movie. I thought it was okay. Apparently the show was good, and they said, "No, pull the plug. Get that out of here. We don't want that."
I would argue that is in some ways Netflix not paying attention to the customer always being right in terms of taste.
Absolutely.
It's Taco Bell's with it. They brought back the potatoes. They brought back the Mexican pizza.
Wait,
Netflix
potatoes, the Fiesta potatoes, did they drop those?
They got rid of them for a while. Yeah,
for a very short time.
Mexican pizza left.
Oh man,
that's Amber's favorite thing, the Fiesta potatoes.
Well, don't worry. When you guys come back to the States, it's back. It's back. Because the fans did what was right and bullied the company into giving it back.
Yeah. I mean, somebody's got to be a champion. That's all I'm saying.
The breakfast
Nacho Fries 02KS about. I think those are just seasonal in general anyway, aren't they? Those are. It's like the McRib.
I love the McRib.
God. That's
Mhm.
gross, dude. I'd rather lick the grease trap than
Yo,
get a McRib.
every time
That's where they get the McRibs from. It's tasty there.
all they do is they take the grease and throw it into a mold. Honestly, the McRib, every time I get it, I ask for a McRib with cheese because I'm just a foul
Of
human.
course you would.
But the McRibs,
that must be a New York thing, man. I don't
New
know. We
York?
don't do that here.
man, I'm
We don't
born
do
and
that here.
raised. I'm a product of Pennsylvania. Look at me. This is why
You're
I'm,
a product, but then you defected to go north.
This is why I'm
Outta here.
trash because I'm from Pennsylvania.
Trash.
No, but the McRib is the same like reconstituted pork shoulder or whatever mystery meat as it's like the banquet TV dinner ribs meal or something. It's the same thing. So if you go to Walmart and spend 99 cents or 98 cents, I don't know, with inflation it's probably $8 now on that like reconstituted pork product in barbecue sauce.
Oh God.
I love it. There you go. I've got another groundbreaking topic here because we're still going.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
What's your thoughts on kid cuisines?
Oh, dude,
Ooh.
those were delicious. Those were the Dino Nuggies one, man. That's a top tier kid cuisine.
Awesome. Thanks for
The
your thoughts.
Oh,
It's fine.
No
It's
kidding.
fine.
It's fine.
Nope, I'm good. You know, I was gonna give it. Okay, fine. One quick hot take, and we can leave. The nuggets were great. The nuggets meal was great.
Mhm.
The corn that came along with it, top tier corn.
Yo,
but
love
I
that
don't.
corn.
I
Yeah.
hate that expanding, inflating sadness of a mud pie they called a brownie that just suddenly
Yo.
appeared in there.
It had
You
like
didn't like
sprinkles
that?
in it, and it was hot as hell.
man, I
It was
loved it.
blazing hot. I could never taste it because it was so hot. Because I was
Well-
busy doing the whole.
What's
well,
that again?
you know, you're supposed to eat
Oh,
the
no.
brownie last, man. You're doing it all wrong.
You
You're
start
diving in-
there.
No, you
I'm
start.
a kid. It
Dude,
is my
listen,
cuisine.
You start with the corn first to get that out of the way because we don't want that. It's good, but we don't want that. So then you go with the nuggets. Then you can actually enjoy those. Then by then your brownie has deflated, and it's not molten lava. So you can just sit there and eat your sad brownie and be the happiest little 5-year-old ever.
You know, my strongest memories do come from eating that sad hot brownie during the middle of DBZ on Toonami. So, like, you know,
It's
I guess.
DBZ time. Give me my damn quick kid
Yep,
cuisine.
yep. Let's get that kid cuisine.
Yo,
Hey, Ma, where's the kid cuisine?
the best one though is this one right here. The Hungry Man boneless fried chicken meal with the brownie, corn, potato.
Yes.
Yeah.
I used to have a toaster oven, and I would go to Walmart once a week and I'd buy like 5 of them, and that would be my dinner every night. What you do is, like, especially if you're microwaving it, you got to like take the brownie out halfway through. It's an inconvenience, and then it just sits there, and you're just looking at it, and the brownie's looking at you, and it's like, come on. So then you eat it. But that's my favorite one in my old age. But I love the kid cuisines. I love the banquet TV dinners and all that stuff. I loved all that. There's no great comparable thing here in Australia, man. I'm out here just in, you know, it's not the same.
because they want you to stick around for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Reed says
Appreciate the nature.
7 years to cook in the. It's like 45 minutes in the oven, but it's much better. You get a better end result if you can wait a little bit.
Nah.
It's a winner.
Nah.
Hungry Man dinner.
Oh God.
Well, there you go. I don't want to keep you guys forever. Well, thank you everybody for watching episode 16 of the show. We're heading on over to our post show, which is going to be even more unhinged. For those who are, God, something in my eyes. What the heck? NerdWire.
Is it a NerdWire?
I think there's a NerdWire in my NerdWire. Where can we find you other than my eye?
The good news, my username, it's NerdWirePlays pretty much everywhere. You can hit me up over on Instagram. You can hit me up over on Twitter, especially Twitch. That's where I go live every evening, typically right around 9 p.m., somewhere between 9 and 10. And if you were like the rest of us grandpas and boomers here, you can hit me up on Facebook too, NerdWirePlays. Coming soon, YouTube in January. Foreshadowing, baby.
Whoa!
Anyway,
Is this an exclusive announcement?
it's an exclusive announcement coming soon.
What are you doing over there?
Excited.
I'm not sure yet. We're making plans though. We're making plans and we're making moves. And whenever I'm ready to really talk about it, I'm sure I'll give you guys the scoop first.
Oh boy!
Wow.
Look, I'm in the in crowd for once.
Look at this. Mr. Ben and Jerry's over here with the scoop.
Coming up.
Can I be Jerry?
I'll be the ampersand in the middle. I'm just
Yes, that means you're Ben. Katsune Ben. I'm Jerry Plays.
Oh my god.
My favorite thing about this show so far, though, is how you said July. You said July.
July.
How else do you say July?
He's gonna have a mint julep in July.
It's that southern draw.
Yeah.